Hey there, this is John Longenecker. I've got a website called storyrights.org, another one called copyrightusc.com, and they're about story rights and U.S. copyright law, and the University of Southern California School of Cinematic Arts and their copyright policy for student films. The audio comments by me were recorded in March 2007 at a meeting about copyright at the University of Southern California. Here it is, 2008, and it's still relevant. Well, hi there. This is John Longenecker, and I'm the guy that does the website Copyright USC. And what I'm trying to do is provide information so that young filmmakers who are going to film school can learn about the U.S. copyright law and all the protections that U.S. copyright provides for their original works, original stories, treatments, screenplays, and short films. So I'm focusing on the University of Southern California because it's nearby and I went there. And I've been doing some research, and here's what the USC policy about copyright for films has something to do with these words. Extensive use of the university's facilities, funds, resources, and supplies. That has got, in my view, absolutely nothing to do with U.S. copyright law. In September 2007, USC Cinema rewrote its copyright policy, and now it says that substantial use of university resources, funds, equipment, guild agreements, and insurance. Seems that USC has a guild agreement with the Screen Actors Guild. So now, those are the reasons that USC Cinema gets to own the copyright to a student short film. That has got, in my view, absolutely nothing to do with U.S. copyright law. U.S. copyright law stems from the United States Constitution, which talks about authors. Things like a university's facilities, funds, resources, and supplies have nothing to do with copyright. Back in August of 1999, the Dean of the School of Cinema Television had a meeting with a Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs at USC to discuss and clarify the university's position regarding ownership of student films and videos. And there were attorneys in attendance to provide legal counsel. Non-attorney that I am, I'd love to have a debate with these attorneys that were in attendance to provide legal counsel. I don't see how the policy of the university is supported by U.S. copyright law. The task at that meeting was to find a way to exempt the underlying rights in student films without impacting other intellectual properties, quote, developed at the university. I don't know what developed at the university might mean. If you come up with an original story, create an original work, a story for a film, and you're smart enough to send it off to the Copyright Office in Washington, D.C. for copyright registration, then that becomes an underlying work. You, as the sole author of that work, are the copyright owner, and on your registration form, you're the copyright claimant, and you have some exclusive rights. One of your exclusive rights is that you can do derivative works or other versions of your work. Short film is a version of your story. So the university's got a problem, because if Walt Disney drew Mickey Mouse as a student at USC and then made a short film about a little mouse, USC would claim that they'd own the copyright to the film about the little mouse, but for some reason they understood that they probably wouldn't own the drawing of the little mouse, because the drawing of the little mouse led to the Walt Disney Company and to Disneyland and to everything else that Disney does. So USA realizes that they probably should not go after the underlying rights in a student film, but they still wanted to own the film. Well, that's kind of weird, because the copyright law of the United States says that only the author of the original work, the one with the underlying rights, can authorize a derivative work like another screenplay version or a motion picture version. So why on earth would the university think that they own the copyright to a movie based on the underlying rights to an original story? It just doesn't make sense. So they understand that they've got a problem, but they're still trying to square it with the university's desire to own copyrights to movies, which is just not supported by the copyright law of the United States. Just not. And so that's what this website's going to explore. It's going to try to find out more information from various sources to support the position that young filmmakers ought to own the copyrights to their movie. That's it. Stay tuned.